Hello there everybody, how are you doing? I thought I would just come on here and basically share my thoughts about the Radio 2 extension being rejected and just sort of give my thoughts on that, and also, about this new soul show that Tony Blackburn's doing. So on the Digital Spy forum, somebody put a link to the sort of commissioning document for Tony Blackburn's new soul show, and I wasn't really best pleased about this. Now, I love soul music. I think soul music is brilliant. Stuff like Marvin Gaye, the Spinners, or the Detroit Spinners, as if you're outside of the UK, you'll know them as. In the UK, we call them the Detroit Spinners, but in America, you just call them the Spinners, but we call them the Detroit Spinners because there was a folk group called the Spinners. Anyway, with that out of the way, I am just... I'm not really very happy with this because from Monday to Thursday, you have soul R&B with DJ Spoonie, The Good Groove, 10 till midnight, Monday to Thursday. Then you have Trevor Nelson's afternoon show, which has, a soul track or two. Then you have Tony Blackburn doing soul specials on the bank holiday. And to me, and technically, I suppose, because, we have lots of soul, funk, disco music, which often is played as well in Sophie Ellis Bextor's Kitchen Disco as well, Fridays, 9 till 11. So to me, it just seems an overload. And also, what surprised me about this is Tony Blackburn has always been very clear that he loves doing live radio. He doesn't really like doing pre-recorded radio. He did it as, really a last resort because obviously due to COVID that he couldn't do any live radio shows. But generally, to me, this just feels like a complete, overload. I'm a little bit angry because, I think there's just too much soul. It seems to be that soul seems to dominate everything. And it's not just Radio 2, BBC Radio Wales, I think, cancelled their sports show and replaced it with a Friday night sort of kitchen disco type show. So the BBC has got a real problem, I think. It's getting a little bit of a problem now. There's too much disco, there's too much soul, there's too much funk. And look, as I've said before, I love the kitchen disco with Sophie Ellis Bextor. I think it's fantastic. And as a result of that, of course, it's got me with an appreciation for classic disco. In fact, before, in about 2019, I was sort of listening to George Benson and stuff, so I was already sort of gradually picking up. The kitchen disco just gave me a sort of kick up the backside in audio terms. Basically encouraged me to listen to more disco. But, I just think it's just too much. It's just the station is almost littered with it. And plus Ryland plays dance music as well. Dance music on Saturday afternoons as well. And there's dance music in Spoonie's show. So that's, 4 days a week. It's just, it's so much. It's littered with it. Helen Thomas, the boss of Radio 2, I haven't always approved of what she's done. And yeah, I mean, we only get 1 hour of jazz a week with Jamie Cullum. Why can we not have another jazz show? To have another soul show it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous in my view. Now, listen, as I said, and I'm sure, the people watching, I'm sure you like soul music, and but I just think it's too much. It's just too much, and it's almost like soul music is sort of invading the other genres. It's sort of like, well, a bit like my strawberry plant in the garden. Our strawberry plant in the garden that's basically just growing so much, and it's almost taking over. That's sort of the best analogy I could give it. So, but yeah, that's my thoughts. Now, it might just be on BBC Sounds, or whether it'll be one of those made for Sounds, but they'll plonk it on at midnight and stuff. I mean, what really I think is really insulting is Top Brass with James Morrison, which was on a couple of months ago, buried at midnight. Previously, it was like 9 o'clock. It had a pretty good slot, and because of the other shows, it's now been pushed to midnight. Really, it's more the attitude. Really, if it's jazz, I feel like they don't really want to know about it. If they could, if they were allowed to, they would drop it. And I think that's a really shame. And I think really that's a bit of a, it's insulting. I mean, Clive Murray, again, these shows about Ella Fitzgerald and Ray Charles, where they put them on, they've just chucked them on at midnight. I mean, yeah, I think this is a consequence, and for me, that's probably why it's maybe bad having the same show 4 days a week in that 10 to 11 slot, where I think that slot could actually be used for, more documentaries, putting them on at a really decent time. I mean, obviously, I would say the midnight slot is very important, but, it's a shame to see these documentaries just tossed to the side. It really feels like they really don't want them. But, we have to put them on. And, of course, the consequence of getting rid of weekend overnight shows is the schedule is so hodgepodge. It's so... I look at the schedule pages and it just winds me up. I mean, we'll see. Anyway, so my thoughts on the Radio 2 extension being rejected, which of course was the other main point. So I think, for me, that I think Ofcom should have accepted it, because the BBC said it was going to be different from Boom Radio, and the BBC have a great archive of live performances, which Boom doesn't. And really, when you're a commercial radio station, you can't really have sessions that well, really, because you're squeezed for time, and it probably, all the commercial radio stations that do, I bet the live sessions are not really that good, and they always feel rushed and, squeezed for time because of the adverts. And I just can't be doing with commercial radio. I just, Oh, yeah, I mean, I don't know. So, yeah, it's a great shame. I was really looking forward to, well, if this Radio 2 extension was going to be approved, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, they may put some of the individual shows that they were planning on BBC Sounds, but honestly, I'm not going to bother. Now, if they have the stream on Sound, so it's still a proper radio station if you want, but it's on Sound, I suppose I wouldn't mind that. But when it comes to just individual shows for Sounds, I'm not going to bother. I love my DAB radio, and look, I mean, we know from the M&S and Co-op and, you know, being hacked, you know, we can't just rely on, you know, digital technology and the internet as well. I just, as you can tell this stream, I'm just quite frustrated, but yeah, anyway, that's the way it's gone. And I suppose that another thing which is really kind of bothers me about Radio 2, but it's not just Radio 2, there's lots of other radio stations, because Global is Global Player, and then Bauer has Rio, doesn't it, now, and you just never hear the end of it. It's drummed into you, and it absolutely does my fucking head in. I just, yeah, just, just, yeah, very frustrated, really. I'm fed up of hearing about BBC Sound. I'm fed up of hearing about smart speakers. Look, I use them. Okay, that's good. But maybe don't just push and push and push and push and push. Oh, my God, I mean, yeah, it's just absolutely doing my head in. Oh, well, things are probably never going to change. And on that note, well, I'll see you soon. Oh, and, you know, keep your eyes peeled, because, you know, I'm going to be, I'm sure, chatting with the lads, and hopefully we'll get something put together, because I can't wait to do videos again with the lads, and yeah, it should be good. We're thinking of a show, Whose Round Is It Now? And basically we're gonna test like a pilot to see how it went, and it's just sort of talking about different subjects that we love. So, for example, Jordan would talk about Spider-Man one week, Ben would talk about Manchester United, well, or football, Sam would maybe talk about tennis, I would maybe talk about my love for classic kids TV. I don't know, but yeah, just keep your eyes peeled, and yeah, I will let you know soon. So, right, cheers, goodbye.